Hello, my name is Terry Jones, and I'm going to be doing a quick demonstration on a piece of this aluminum board. This is Archival Painting and Mounting Panel by Aluminium, and the panel comes in two different sides. One of the sides here, you can see this one is a very shiny side. The other side is more of a brushed metal side. And I'm planning on doing a winter scene, so I think I'm going to use the brush metal side. I don't know if you can see the difference between the two. So the first thing that I'm going to do is decide what my orientation is going to be, and I think I'm going to be, I guess vertical would be the orientation. And the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean off the piece of aluminum. As with anything else, it's really good to make sure you take some alcohol and you clean off the entire surface, your work surface, to make sure that there's not any imperfections or nothing from your fingerprints or anything. Okay? So one of the challenges that I find to these aluminum panels is a lot of times they have a little bit of rough edges. So sometimes, because of how I'm doing the alcohol inks, I want to make sure that I don't have really any rough edges here to stop it from to make the inks kind of flow all over the piece. Okay? So the second thing I'm going to do is I like to sometimes stamp my pieces, or I'm not sure if it's really a stamp. This is a mini ink blending tool, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it to blend two different colors in my sky. This is one that's already been used, but I'm just cleaning it up a little bit, and I'm going to use this dirty one. I can reuse them. I will tend to end up saving the different colors and reusing them later. That one's one that I've done a blue on before. For the sky, I'm going to do a stormy sky, and I'm going to use some eggplant, and this is slate. And here I go. I'm going to put the eggplant and slate together. And when they get on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my stamper to just gently stamp and blend the colors together. There's a couple different advantages, disadvantages to this aluminum. One of the advantages is that it cleans up to basically perfect white, or perfect silver actually, but the disadvantage tends to be is you don't get your whitest whites like you would on a piece of paper or tile. So as you see, I didn't do a lot of blending, I just blended it a little bit together. What you do have to do is if you end up hitting a spot, I'm going to have to go over the whole thing now, because by starting, if I don't go from the top to the bottom with my blending, I'll end up with some uneven dots. So this is just about dry. As in alcohol inks, they all dry really quickly. And my intention is I'm going to put some stark birch trees against the sky, and with the moon in there. And I have two different colors. I'm going to do currant and botanical for some back mountain areas. So just like with a tile, what I will do is I will pick up the piece, and then I will do a kind of an upside down Y, and with an eye underneath, and then I'm going to put some green in between that and try to get these to just kind of morph into hills. Now I may use, this is the coffee stir, and I can use the coffee stir to kind of give me a little bit more definition in these hills. But really less is more here. I don't want to blend it too much. The topic is going to be the trees. I'm liking the blending that's happening there. I'm not quite sure of right down here if I don't want to try to soften it just a little bit and maybe get another sense of light right through here. But so far I'm liking that. So I'm going to just let it be. I might want to clean up the very edges here with a little, this is a paper towel that has just a little bit of alcohol in. And when I say little bit of alcohol, I truly mean little bit of alcohol. A lot of times people put a lot of alcohol in here, and what's going to happen is you'll bleed alcohol into your painting, and it really just doesn't work. I can soften this edge now with just this little bit of alcohol if I choose, like there's some maybe plants or something up there, but I think that's soft enough. I'm going to clean it off a little bit more. Okay, so now I have a background. I have a sky. I am going to take my Q-tip, and when I do my Q-tip, I dip it in the alcohol and then I just about thoroughly dry it. I take it and I start at the very bottom. I put my finger on top of it and I will pull this all the way off the top of the painting. If the Q-tip's too wet, what will happen is this will spread. We will see. I'm going to go back and clean this up one more time, go through the same place that I did, a little slower, and pull it up off of the top. I'm going to put, I think I'm going to make this into a Y-shaped tree. So again, I'm going to start at the very bottom, but then I'm going to pull up and over out there. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to be putting my trees in. Again, you see me almost drying off the piece. Here I'm going to have one come through here. And I'm going to have to go back out and clean that up one more time. Going a little slower. Okay. And then I think I'll have another one going a little straighter up through here. I like 3 trees. 3 trees usually works on one of these horizontal paintings. A lot of times if I'm doing a vertical painting, I'll do more than 3 trees. So here I have this lovely little painting. Let me check and see if you can see it. I'm hoping that I didn't I was working high enough for you. This is my test. It's one of my first times I've used this new lighting system, so my intention is this is a test that I will be putting online just for whatever. So I'm kind of liking the trees. I think I might want to do a little more cleaning up. This is something called a Fantastic, which I actually recently discovered and really like, because you have a little bit more control with it. And especially for cleaning up things, I tend to like it a lot. Okay, and I want to make this tree a little fatter at the bottom. One of the things you'll notice is I'm constantly cleaning off my piece on my blotter paper here. I find that it's really good to get the dirty stuff that you're pulling up off of your piece. Okay, so here I go with those, and what I'm planning to do is use the good old-fashioned black Sharpie. Let me grab one. Okay, this is nothing more than a black Sharpie, and what I'm planning doing with this is I'm just going to go up one side of the tree a little bit and give it a little bit of definition. I also want to come down here, back here, where the tree's coming into the snow. This is going to be a snow scene. And I can even pull off some more black branches if I want. I tend to only go on one side of the tree. Maybe on the other side of the tree every once in a while I might put a little bit of calligraphy. But if I try to outline the tree on both sides, what I find is it becomes very artificial looking. So here I go. I might put a few more branches up and out. I can also go back later with a white gel pen and do some branches. I find I want to make this one a little fatter down here on the bottom. And another thing that I frequently do is you'll see me moving my piece so that I have a better angle. I'm not very good at just doing it from up top. I need to support my hand and to get the angle necessary for me to do the drawing. Okay, so again, I'm going to come up and I try to be random with this, so I just don't go 1, 2, 3. It gets way too static when you do that. And the great thing about Sharpies is alcohol erases them, which is a good thing if you need it, and sometimes it's a not good thing if you don't want a spot erased, and the alcohol takes it away. So I go back and forth and try to get in a fairly random manner. And I, again, on the other side of the tree, I might just put a few marks, not a whole lot. I don't want to get too carried away with my marks. Okay, and here I'm starting down here. Kind of, these marks, the side marks, I try to make them a little circular, whether they're circular this way or circular this way. I kind of vary them at times, but the circular marks help to maintain the illusion of you're not having just dots and dashes, and they also try to give you a little bit of roundness to the tree. Okay, and then this is probably should have gone behind there, but that's okay. So now I have my trees. Again, I like to just kind of ground them a little bit, and you don't have to make really precise marks. I mean, I'm always telling my students, just be messy. One of the things that we do is we try to get it so perfect that it doesn't look realistic. And I'm going to go back here, and this just has a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of alcohol in it. And here I am, I'm softening just a few of these lines through here so it doesn't look so harsh. You don't necessarily have to do it. I like the just gentling just a few of these so it's not quite as stark. You know, if you really want to, you can try also to take another maybe branch out with just a little alcohol and make it a white branch. What I find with the white trying to do this is the first time over doesn't really count. I have to go over the second time for it to really remove the pieces. Okay, so I'm liking that a lot. What I'm going to do next is trying to decide whether or not I need a little bit of texture in the foreground. If I do, I would probably do it with maybe a little tiny bit of the slate. We'll see what happens. If I just put a little slate here and this, and just give it just ever so much of a little bit of a texture, so you're kind of not seeing, so it's not too stark. There's not a lot of texture in that, but I think I like that. This next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a moon, and I'm going to do this. I have a flat piece of absolutely dry paper towel here, and I'm going to, I have an imperfection there, so I'm going to do it right on the imperfection in the hopes that it will make the imperfection go away. And now I'm letting it grow, and it's not growing perfectly, but I'm going to just, acceptance is the answer right now. I think it didn't grow perfectly because of my imperfection. I'm going to press it straight down and straight up. And when it doesn't come out exactly how I want it, I take a almost dry brush, and then from the inside out, I can work my moon. Sometimes it comes out just so perfectly, it's like magic. Today is not one of those times. So as you see, I'm actually moving my piece around because I need to just get that same motion with a steady hand. And I don't do a really good job of it without having a place to put my hand. I used the brushed side of this, and one of the perils sometimes with the brush side of it is it's a little harder to manipulate the ink, because it tends to want to travel in the grooves of the brush side. So patience, I just have to have a little patience. But I'm liking where my moon is now. Because I've got a little moon there, I think I'm going to use some of the eggplant that I used for the sky. I used eggplant and slate. And I'm going to put a few little shadows in here. Now the shadows will travel directly down, so they'll be coming like here. The shadow's going to come down like that. So they travel from the object at the angle that it's, at an angle. So this one might have just a little more, some shadow on the back side of the tree also. I can put just a little bit of that in. I don't have to put a lot of it in. And I may need to expand that a little bit. And expand that a little bit. And then put a little more shadowy stuff in here. Okay, well, I'm liking most of that. The last thing to do is to possibly decide that you want to put just a little bit of snow coming out. And here it definitely is less is more. I have this mini mister from Ranger. And what I'm planning on doing is I want this to be fairly, I'm going to practice, I want it to be fairly far away. And I just want to lightly mist this. And that wasn't far away enough. Usually I end up holding it and literally running it right through. Ooh, that worked. I'm going to try it one more time. Misting and running it right through. That's kind of working. This is just very subtle. I don't want too much of it, and I think that's going to be enough of it. Just a little tiny bit of misty, like there's a little bit of snow falling off of the trees, but the moon is out, so it's not going to be really snowing hard. So that is how I paint my on this aluminum. I tend to sign it with Sharpies and then frame them in little black frames I get from either a thrift store or Walmart for $1. So thank you very much. I appreciate you watching.